Tales of Herding Gods, Episode 59. Interpreting Classic Original Works, Savoring Human Destiny. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Wood God Chronicles Original Work Interpretation Series. This video is co-produced by Feitian Xinhong and Mushi Shengxiang. Fellow Taoists who enjoy it, please like, coin, and support us. Picking up from last time, Qin Mu returned to the capital on the ship of the living bandit Fan Yunxiao. Afterwards, he arrived at the mountain gate of the Imperial College. Just as he passed the mountain gate, he suddenly retreated, stopping to examine the dragon Qilin guarding it. The dragon Qilin was still lying at the foot of the mountain gate, staring straight ahead, motionless. However, the chain around its neck was gone. Qin Mu looked it up and down, his eyes widening. The dragon Qilin still didn't blink, but the veins on its neck stood out one by one. "What are you looking at?" The dragon Qilin roared furiously, turning its head to shout at him. Qin Mu asked curiously, "Your chain is gone, why don't you leave?" The dragon Qilin said weakly, "I have nowhere to go. Someone brings me food and drink every day here, why should I leave?" Hu Linger teased, "Your only pursuit is food and drink." The dragon Qilin glanced at her quite disdainfully. Qin Mu was about to continue walking up the mountain when the dragon Qilin lowered its head, its gaze dull. "My master resigned and ran off with an old man. He abandoned me, he doesn't want me anymore. And I have nowhere to go, so I have to stay here and guard the gate. Every day I'm bullied by a cow and now I'm mocked by a fox. I can't live like this anymore." Qin Mu heard this and asked curiously, "You are the Grand Master's left banner, we are fellow disciples. I am the cult master of the sacred cult." The dragon Qilin looked at him warily and sneered, "I don't know any grandmaster, nor any cult master. You caused me trouble, I haven't even settled the score with you yet." Qin Mu chuckled, "Last time I came to fight the Taoist disciple of the Tao sect, didn't you see me and the grandmaster walking together? At that time, you should have known my relationship with the grandmaster. You don't need to be so cautious." The dragon Qilin snorted coldly, "And then you troubled me." Qin Mu said awkwardly, "Who told you to incite me to fight that cow? I ended up getting beaten by that cow. You didn't tell me at all how powerful that cow was. It just rampaged, not even a scratch." The dragon Qilin snorted coldly again, "And then you retaliated by troubling me." Qin Mu tentatively suggested, "How about I get that cow to come over and you beat it up?" The dragon Qilin clearly didn't believe him. "You want to trouble me again?" Qin Mu, helpless, had to go up the mountain. This dragon Qilin was a bit stubborn, only remembering that he had troubled it. Suddenly, he stopped and looked back. He saw the dragon Qilin following him step by step. Seeing him stop, the dragon Qilin also stopped. Qin Mu leaped onto the jade cliff. Fire clouds appeared beneath the dragon Qilin's feet, and its massive body ascended the cliff after him. Qin Mu turned and smiled, "Why are you following me? I only troubled you once to get some dragon saliva. Why are you holding such a deep grudge?" The dragon Qilin said earnestly, "You troubled me, so you must provide me with food and drink." Qin Mu said awkwardly, "Didn't you just say someone brings you food and drink every day? Just stay at the mountain gate." The dragon Qilin lowered its head and said, "Before, it was my master who brought me food and drink. After master left, no one took care of me. I haven't eaten anything for over a month. The new grand libation thought I was a rock, and the other disciples also thought I was a rock. I was too embarrassed to ask for food. That cow even bullied me, claiming to be the demon of Bation libation, saying I deceived its feelings." Qin Mu felt a pang of sympathy upon hearing this. So he said, all right. You can follow me from now on. I'll provide you with food and drink. I have money. What do you eat?" "I only drink water from Jade Dragon Lake every day and eat one dough of scarlet fire elixir." Qin Mu clenched his fists. Hu Linger also trembled slightly. Jade Dragon Lake was the one on the mountain, a lake formed by the condensation of 9 dragon chi. The lake water was abundant, enough for the dragon Qilin to drink freely. But one dough of scarlet fire elixir would be deadly expensive. Hu Linger cleverly said, "Young master, the money we have is only enough to feed it for half a month. We shouldn't take it in." The dragon Qilin heard this and quickly said, "I can eat a little less. I'll only eat half a dough every day. Or even one shing is fine." One Xing cannot be less. Qin Mu waved his hand and said, I am a pharmacist myself. I can mix the herbs and refine the scarlet fire elixir myself, which will save some money. You won't lack food. But I can't support you for free. The dragon Qilin quickly cried out, You troubled me. Besides, we are fellow disciples. I am your grandmaster's left banner, and you are the cult master. You have a responsibility to support me. Qin Mu, with a headache, said, Long Xian, you must give me some every day, otherwise I can't afford to keep you. Long Xian, the dragon Qilin, became wary again. Qin Mu said, It's your saliva. The dragon Qilin breathed a sigh of relief. Afterwards, Qin Mu took the dragon Qilin up the mountain, first arriving at Jade Dragon Lake to let it drink. Qin Mu thought to himself, I wonder how much a small bottle of dragon saliva is worth? But this is a spiritual beast saliva. The price shouldn't be low, right? I hope I can earn back enough to buy medicinal ingredients, otherwise I'll truly be eating through my savings. Haha, don't worry. Dragon saliva is very valuable. Even though the dragon Qilin eats a lot, it won't eat you poor. The dragon Qilin drank its fill of water. Qin Mu then took it towards the treasury, planning to first buy some medicinal ingredients for refining scarlet fire elixir. As they passed the Imperial Prince Academy, he saw many disciples gathered there, completely blocking the entrance. Cheers erupted from inside. Suddenly, there was a loud bang, and a figure was sent flying into the air, landing headfirst on the ground. Qin Mu was startled. The one who fell to the ground was a disciple from the Imperial Prince Academy, a prince's son. At this moment, a girl's voice came from the crowd, I'll take you on. Qin Mu had already walked further away when he suddenly heard another loud bang. A girl in green flew backwards, and with a crack, she crashed through the wall of the Hongguang Palace not far in front of him. Only a pair of slender legs were left sticking out. Qin Mu turned to look at the crowd, finding the fighting style somewhat familiar. It was senior brother Baishan's combat technique. Baishan Libation had created a unique combat technique, combining martial arts moves with magical abilities. Its power was greater than pure martial arts or pure magic. The only drawback of this combat technique was that its moves were not as flexible and varied as pure martial arts or magic. This was also the reason why Baishan Libation, despite reaching the level of a cult master-level expert, couldn't advance further. Since it was Baishan Libation's combat technique, then it must be Ling Yuxiu. After returning from the Lulan Golden Palace, he noticed the dragon Qilin's hungry footsteps giving way, its belly shriveled. Qin Mu had to suppress the urge to go down and watch the battle, and continued towards the treasury. After buying the medicinal ingredients, Qin Mu returned the same way with the dragon Qilin. Along the way, he analyzed the medicinal properties of the herbs and refined a batch of scarlet fire elixir. The dragon Qilin quickly ate a batch of elixirs, but wasn't full, and looked at him eagerly again. Qin Mu had no choice but to refine another batch, finally feeding the enormous creature until it was full. The dragon Qilin was full of vigor, following by his side, and said with a fawning smile, From now on, if there's anything, just say the word. I'm very good at fighting. Qin Mu shook his head and walked towards the Imperial Prince Academy. Hu Linger sneered, You don't even dare to fight a cow, and you still claim to be good at fighting? The dragon Qilin immediately fell silent. Haha, Hu Linger, besides being good at managing money, also has another impressive skill. Her ability to mock people is first-rate. The Imperial Prince Academy was still packed with people. A disciple was heard saying, Has no one been able to defeat her yet? Since the 7th princess returned from her outdoor training, she's like a changed person. Her progress has been rapid. Combining magic and martial arts, coupled with the imperial family's 9-dragon emperor palace, the 7th princess can basically sweep through the Imperial Prince Academy. Move aside. Everyone move aside. Suddenly, many disciples felt a commotion coming from behind them. Turning to look, they saw a massive creature, half dragon, half Qilin, swaying its body, pushing aside the disciples blocking its path. This enormous creature squeezed its way all the way to the entrance of the Imperial Prince Academy, clearing a path. The disciples were stunned and couldn't help but feel fear. The dragon Qilin shook its body, ruffled its fur, and turned back with a fawning smile. Young master, these ignorant ones have already cleared a path. Young master, please enter. Qin Mu stepped forward to the entrance of the Imperial Prince Academy and reprimanded, "Too ostentatious. Too ostentatious. Don't do this again in the future." Senior brothers and sisters, my apologies, my apologies. Everyone's expressions froze. Haha, I've seen ostentatious people, but I've never seen someone so ostentatious and thick-skinned. Qin Mu looked into the Imperial Prince Academy and saw Ling Yuxiu, who had sealed her 5 luminaries' divine treasures, fighting against Mingwei Shizi. Mingwei Shizi was another disciple chosen by Bashan Libation. After only a few exchanges, Mingwei Shizi couldn't withstand Ling Yuxiu's astonishing explosive power and was sent flying. Ling Yuxiu broke open her 5 luminaries' divine treasures. 9 dragons coiled behind her. She was truly heroic and spirited, full of vitality. Qin Mu secretly sighed. Ling Yuxiu, after her journey to the Lulan Golden Palace, had truly made rapid progress in her cultivation and strength. In these 3 months, she had gained an overwhelming advantage over the other disciples. Bashan Libation taught according to individual aptitude, and what he taught was different from what the Imperial College students received. He specifically cultivated Ling Yuxiu by addressing her weaknesses, which finally allowed her to achieve great growth. However, Qin Mu looked at the Imperial Prince Academy, which had been nearly half demolished by this princess. He wondered who taught her to be so violent. Speaking of which, this student Qin Chai, Qin the Demolisher. Ling Yuxiu saw Qin Mu, her big eyes lit up. Cowherd. She then waved to the royal disciples in the Imperial Prince Academy and smiled, "No more fighting today. We'll discuss the outcome another day." She walked towards Qin Mu. Qin Mu praised, "Sister Yuxiu, after not seeing you for over a month, your skills have become even more formidable." Ling Yuxiu complained a little, "I haven't seen you these days. I was very worried." She then told Qin Mu that the new Grand Libation was not Bashan Libation, but the one he and General Shaoqin rescued from the great Xuyang Dragon Palace, who was sealed. Qin Mu's heart stirred. Could it be Gulin Wan? Haha, that's right. The new Grand Libation is indeed Gulin Wan. This will be difficult now, won't it? I guess the first thing he'll do is definitely demand the return of the Xiaobao sword. Seeing many people watching them, Ling Yuxiu also felt a bit embarrassed. She then prepared to take Qin Mu to her room. The two walked further into the Imperial Prince Academy. At this moment, a young man stepped out, his face grim, and said, "Seventh sister, how can a girl's room be entered by a man so casually? Let's go to my room instead." It was none other than the second prince, Ling Yuxiu. That's right, old Demon Hong also thought that taking Qin Mu to a room should be done quietly. Bringing a man into a maiden's chamber in front of all the imperial princes was indeed a bit of a high-profile display of affection. Ling Yuxiu's face flushed slightly, and she mumbled an explanation. They arrived at Ling Yuxiu's residence in the Imperial Prince Academy. Here, it was decorated like a garden in Jiangnan, very elegant. Ling Yuxiu led them to a pavilion. Qin Mu praised, "Second prince, you truly have refined tastes." Ling Yuxiu's expression softened slightly, and he said, "Seventh sister went to the frontier, and I must thank Dr. Qin for taking care of her these past days. I'm relieved." Seventh sister has already told about her experiences in the Lulan Golden Palace. "Knowing that you saved my sister multiple times, Yuxiu is endlessly grateful." Ling Yuxiu smiled. "The cowherd is very powerful. I even thought he was dead, and it made me cry in front of the shaman in the Golden Palace." Ling Yuxiu's eye twitched. "It's nothing, just a classmate's friendship. My sister once had a cat that died, and she also cried then." Ling Yuxiu then excitedly said, "Second brother, Bashan Libation is indeed amazing. This time he took us out, and my strength has greatly improved. You saw it yourself. If Bashan Libation could take me and the cowherd out more often, you wouldn't be able to defeat me either." Ling Yuxiu shook his head and said, "I've inquired. Bashan Libation's next long journey will be with several other candidate disciples." Ling Yuxiu was a little disappointed. Haha, she just wants to go out alone with the cowherd. Then Ling Yuxiu said, Father Emperor appointed Gulin Wan as the Grand Libation. I heard you have some grievances with Gulin Wan. After Gulin Wan became the Grand Libation, he also inquired about you from the Imperial College students. This person comes from the demonic path and is a grandmaster among them. He is always narrow-minded and petty. Dr. Qin, it's best if you return the Xiaobao sword to Gulin Wan. After saying these serious words, Ling Yushu added, Father Emperor appointed him as Grand Libation, so I can't say much. However, with his temperament, it's hard to guarantee he won't make things difficult for you. I can host a meeting for you to meet him and resolve your grievances. I think he should give me this face. Qin Mu shook his head and said, according to the rules of our Great Su, things obtained through trickery don't need to be returned. Ling Yushu said with a half-smile, but this isn't Great Su. He is the Grand Libation. It would be very easy for him to control you. Qin Mu thought seriously for a moment and said, I heard Gulin Wan say he is the Crown Princess Xiaobao. The Crown Princess Xiaobao should be the Crown Prince's childhood tutor, right? Second Prince, do you think Gulin Wan will give you face? Ling Yushu's heart trembled slightly. Qin Mu continued, Second Prince, if he is willing to resolve the grievances, I wouldn't mind returning the Xiaobao sword to him. However, I don't think he will give you face even if I return the Xiaobao sword to him, and he won't resolve the grievances. Moreover, Second Prince, why aren't you worried that he will make things difficult for you? Ling Yushu's expression was uncertain. Qin Mu had hit upon his worries. Gulin Wan was the Crown Prince's childhood tutor. The Crown Prince was older than him and held the position of Crown Prince. One was the Crown Prince, the other an Imperial Prince. Naturally, their treatment was poles apart. Gulin Wan would not give him this face. Not only would he not give him face, he would also make things difficult for him. He could now confirm this. Ling Yushu thought for a moment and said, I will not interfere with your matters with Gulin Wan. However, you must be careful yourself. Qin Mu nodded and said, Don't worry. Gulin Wan will at most only dare to make things difficult for me. He won't go too far. Ling Yushu's expression was strange. Qin Mu's tone was a bit too arrogant. Where did he get such confidence? Could it be that he and seventh sister have already? An unpleasant thought arose in his mind. If Qin Mu became the imperial son-in-law, then he indeed wouldn't need to fear Gulin Wan. Ling Yushu was silent for a moment, then said, I plan to leave the Imperial College and go to the frontier. I am a general, holding an official position, and it's also time for me to lead troops out. I'm just worried about seventh sister. Qin Mu reassured him, Second Prince, don't worry. I'm here. Ling Yushu thought to himself, it's precisely because you're here that I'm worried about Qin Mu and my siblings. After a short while, he stood up and bid farewell. Returning behind the disciples' residence, the massive dragon Qilin was still following. Many disciples were watching, extremely envious. Yun Ke came closer. He smiled, Sister Fox, I've earned the ransom money. Can I redeem my set of clothes? Hulinger took the money bag and went back inside to retrieve his clothes. She then called out loudly, Everyone who owes me money, quickly bring it out to redeem your IOUs. After a moment, several disciples came forward awkwardly to redeem their IOUs. Hulinger was very satisfied and said, Next time you are defeated by young master, I can give you a 20% discount. A disciple shook his head and said, Imperial College Doctor is a 6th rank official. Who would dare to lay a hand on him? Hulinger was stunned for a moment, then turned to Qin Mu and said, Young master, our source of income is cut off. We can't afford to feed this big guy anymore. The dragon Qilin shrank its head and said weakly, 1 shing of scarlet fire elixir every day is also fine. As long as I get something to eat. Haha, this dragon Qilin is quite amusing. Qin Mu comforted it, it's fine. We can afford it. With that, he took a bottle of dragon saliva and went to the Tai Hall, preparing to cash in and make money. Qin Mu took out a small jade bottle to several Tai physicians. The faces of the several Tai physicians changed dramatically. Physician, you said softly, I recognize this bottle. Is it anesthetic again? Qin Mu said, no, it's a healing elixir. As soon as he finished speaking, Physician Yu took out a small knife and cut Physician Ding's arm. Physician Ding was furious, about to erupt, when Qin Mu quickly stepped forward, opened the jade bottle, and applied a little dragon saliva to the wound. The wound immediately began to heal, and in a few breaths, it was as good as new. The physicians were astonished and quickly gathered around. "Physician," you said, "this healing elixir, what level of injury can it treat? Can it reattach severed limbs?" Qilin nodded. "Someone had their torso severed, and I used this medicine to reattach their torso, restoring it to its original state. However, this medicine is only an aid. It still requires connecting muscles and nerves, which is extremely demanding on technique." Physician Ding saw Physician Yu about to do it again and quickly shouted, "If you dare to cut me, I'll poison your entire family." Physician Yu couldn't bring himself to do it and walked out of the hall. After a moment, he walked back in with a disciple. The Thai physicians quickly shook their heads. "Absolutely not. Disciples are all 8th rank officials. Cutting off his limbs would lead to a lawsuit." The immortal crane of Daoist Ling Yun fought with Bashan Libation's green ox a few days ago and had its leg broken by the green ox. "Why don't you bring that immortal crane here, cut off its leg, and then?" So Physician Yu went out and, after a moment, returned with the immortal crane. The crane moved around a bit, and its leg was completely restored. Qin Mu then wrote down a prescription and handed it to Daoist Ling Yun, saying, "Use this prescription to decoct medicine and soak its injured leg in the boiled water. It can clear the meridians and activate the collaterals, leaving no hidden problems." Daoist Ling Yun quickly took the prescription and thanked him repeatedly. He smiled, "You made me lose face in front of the emperor. I originally held a grudge, but now I'm even a little grateful." Qin Mu smiled, no discord, no concord. Daoist Ling Yun always felt that this saying was a bit awkward and seemed inappropriate here. However, he didn't dwell on it and quickly took the immortal crane away to the treasury to get the medicine. Qin Mu asked the physicians, "Gentlemen, how much is this bottle of healing medicine worth? I'm a bit short on cash lately." The physicians were both surprised and delighted. "Physician Yu said, 'Little divine doctor, if you want to sell it, its value is considerable. For soldiers going to the battlefield, this kind of healing medicine is more precious than any rare treasure. I estimate it's worth at least 10,000 great phone coins." Qin Mu thought, so valuable. So he said, "I can refine one bottle every day. How about I sell it to the Thai Hall for 10,000 gold coins?" The physician's eyes lit up and they smiled. That would be excellent. Qin Mu was satisfied and bid farewell. The physicians, with their white-haired heads, huddled together. "Physician Yu said, we're rich. Old Yu is still the smartest. This small bottle of healing medicine is worth more than 10,000 gold coins. Haha, we can earn an extra half just by reselling it." Qin Mu had just returned to the disciple's residence when a voice suddenly came from behind him. "Little donkey, your qi absorption arhat has improved." Qin Mu turned around, and with a smiling face, bowed and said, "Student greets Grand Libation Gu." The person who arrived was indeed Gulin Wan. The purple robe on him no longer had the 9 patterns. He had clearly taken off his 1st-rank official attire and put on a 3rd-rank official attire. Gulin Wan's visit was naturally to demand the return of the Xiaobao sword. Qin Mu shook his head. "Things I obtained through trickery I never return." Gulin Wan's eyes flashed with fierce light. Qin Mu, completely unfazed, said, "I am now a 6th-rank official, an Imperial College doctor personally appointed by the Emperor. I also cured the Empress Dowager's illness. If you lay a hand on me, the Emperor will kill your entire family." With a rumble, Gulin Wan's demonic energy surged around him, transforming into a 100-zhang-tall demon god, glaring fiercely at him. However, he did not attack. Just then, a voice came from behind Gulin Wan. "If you lay a hand on my junior brother, there's no need for the Emperor to kill your entire family." "I will kill your entire family." Gulin Wan's body stiffened. He felt an indestructible blade resting on his neck. He chuckled, "Bashan Libation, you want to stand up for this little bald donkey?" Bashan Libation stood behind him with his chest exposed and said expressionlessly, "Gu, you haven't appeared for 200 years. Your Taoist magic and divine abilities are outdated. Do you want me to give you some pointers?" Gulin Wan suddenly burst into laughter, and his body transformed into a wisp of demonic energy and vanished. Only his voice echoed from afar, "Pointers?" It would be more like the heavenly blade giving me pointers. Qin Mu turned around, and a blade energy shot through the air, chasing after the wisp of demonic energy. Libation always loved to fight. He was probably going to have a fight with Gulin Wan. He sighed, preparing to enter. Hu Linger's voice came, "Young master, we have a guest." Qin Mu entered and looked, seeing the middle-aged man standing in the courtyard with his hands behind his back. He couldn't help but be slightly startled. It was National Preceptor Yan Kang. National Preceptor Yan Kang turned around, his gaze falling on him. The holy cult master of the Heavenly Saint cult. I never expected him to be the first Imperial College doctor of our Imperial College. Doctor, it's truly a surprise. National Preceptor Yan Kang came to find Qin Mu. What was the matter? Let's find out in the next episode. For more interpretations of human destiny, please follow Feitian Xinhong and Mushi Shengxiang. Wood God Chronicles, original author, Zhaizhu. Don't go out after dark. Like, subscribe, and share for guaranteed safety. Okay, that's all the content for this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe. After all, your support is my motivation to keep creating content. I'm Qin Mu. See you in the next video.